Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Mokana Man at YouTube with another modelling video. Today I'm going back to my usual 3D printing shenanigans, creating more helmets for the collection, attacking a bit of science fiction, Star Wars, The Force Awakens, Captain Phasma's metallic First Order Stormtrooper helmet. The link of the actual STL file from Thingaverse will be provided in the comment section below, or description. The model was printed via my Up Mini in 1.75 ABS PC, an aftermarket brand of Filament. The supports were easily removed with my fingers, and I was left with a very rough solid face. Using Tamiya polyester putty while also doing some resin work, I covered the whole surface and sanded back with a series of different sandpaper. The goal is to go for that high polished metallic look, which will require quite a bit of effort. To save some cash and for future projects, I utilised blade putty. It's a resin urethane based putty that is the same consistency of Tamiya basic type, being resin, strong smell, pretty nasty when sanding, wear a respirator. And after sanding I would hit it with spray putty, which is a very thick primer in a rattle can, bought from an automotive shop, which is normally used for panel beating work on cars. There were 3 stages of application of one of the 2 putty, covering the whole surface with a cotton bud or Q-tip, allowing a decent amount of time to dry and harden, followed by sanding. With sanding, I would start off with a dry 120 grit sandpaper, which would leave deep scars but remove the majority of the bulk of the textured surface to a smoother surface, and move my way down to a 320 grit, about 600 or 400 grits, followed all the way up to 2000 grit, all of them wet, decent amount of pressure applied until the surface was extremely smooth. Primer from the rattle can was applied, searched for extra gaps, potholes or imperfections, and it was generally re-puttied and sanded anywhere up to 3 times before it was ready for polishing. A base was also 3D printed in Laywoo-D3 Flex. I highly recommend to watch the Laywoo-D3 Flex review video about the process of making that. Once the final sanding occurred and the final layer of primer was applied, 2000 grit sandpaper was used to buff out the last of the strange textured detail from the putty, and Mr. Hobby compound was used to buff it and polish it up, ready for our clad black microfilling gloss primer, ready to take on some sort of metallic finish. After a long time coming, I brought out the old Kototsu Ginsan graphite buffable powder. You apply the powder with a Q-tip and then buff it with a bit of cotton or a very soft cotton piece of fabric. Now, in past I've had the effect become quite dull, uninteresting and dark. This time what I did was I would put a layer of Future Floor acrylic on top of the Ginsan powder and apply multiple coats of Ginsan to bring out a more vibrant and lighter reflective finish, instead of just leaving it to a one undercoated finish. Photo not included, the first finish was quite blotchy as the top coat sort of disturbs the surface, yet keeps it quite at a high shine. By the third layer, it was extremely glossy and it had a wonderful clear-like mirror finish. A bit of detail was airbrushed and shaded on, the eyes, mouth, a bit of contrast added, a final coat of Future Floor, and then Mr. Compound was used to buff up the surface, both the 3000 and the 8000 to a high metallic finish sheen. A few coats of Future Floor was applied in thin coats to build up the wet look sheen, and there was a few layers of polishing. There's a lot of work. Did make a few mistakes. There's 1 or 2 imperfections in the finish. I'm still very new to doing high gloss perfect finishes or mirror finishes. I'm pretty happy with the result. My own biggest criticism to myself is the scheme is a bit dark. I probably did a little too much shading, though looking at some the artwork of the source material of Captain Phasma, it is quite appropriate, but didn't really pop or stand out in the competition. On its own, it's pretty cool. I really like it. I enjoy it in my collection for sure. I'm definitely going to do a lot more experimentation with gloss finishes, but achieving a metallic like surface for a 3D printed part, particularly something that's rough that comes out of the Up series 3D printers, I'm pretty happy with the finish. I've learnt a lot with this project. It is just a small helmet like the other ones. More will definitely be on their way, and I definitely want to play more in this general field. I'm not sure if something like this has been done with extrusion 3D printers before. Again, the work is quite substantial, but something this unique and belonging to me alone, worthwhile. Other people that are interested, I definitely recommend giving it a go. It's absolute ton of fun, really worthwhile, and it's all good. I think the biggest tip is using automotive products to fill the x-axis texture and sanding it with a multitude of sandpapers. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for more 3D printing videos and Facebook for extra content. Catch you later.